Order. Roll call.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams,
Here.
Lynn, Bowman,
Here.
Baker, Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Invocation by Ms. Baker and our pledge by Mr. Lynn.
Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you for another day and another opportunity to come and to make decisions for your people. We pray and ask that you would touch our hearts and our minds and help us to make the right decisions for your people today. We love you, we praise you, we lift you up, and we magnify your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Everyone please face the flag, render the proper salute, and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, who forgot the word? Do we have any agenda additions? See any citizens' comments? I've got one card here. Mr. Timothy Thomas. Here's your name and address, please.
My name is Pastor Tim Thomas, Water 17 Linwood Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, speaking on behalf of the Living Word Academy. We have come to you all during the appropriation request period, and I ask you all to give us a funding amount of $250,000 for our program. This program is not the typical program that take kids after school and teach them for an hour, then send them home. This program is designed to instill a discipline greater than the Caddo Parish School Board is able to do. We have recently acquired the George P. Hendricks Elementary School and in the process of renovating. We just completed a $1.5 million facility with private funds donated for us to do what we are doing. And I just think that it is incumbent upon the commission, as I spoke with each one of the commissioners who gave me an opportunity to speak to them. I've contacted each of you today, and when you perhaps get to your phone, you will see that I did call. I will that you look at amending the budget request that you have given us. You all have given us $10,000 as a result. To me, I think that is a handicap, and we are willing to give it back because we don't want a handicap. We want some assistance, and I think that organizations who are probably desperately in need of $10,000, you all perhaps can give it to them. I stand in opposition if you all give me $10,000, but you give Southern University Aerospace Program $125,000. I stand in opposition for giving Southern University Program $125 for the licensed practical nurse program. I stand in massive opposition for you all giving $500,000 to LSU. Now, I'm an alumni of LSU, and I appreciate the LSU system, and I paid them royally while I was there to attend their school. It cost a lot. But I don't think that the commission, which is doing a far-reaching effort going into the collegiate level, trying to provide funding and certificate programs for Southern University, for LSU, or whatever university you're trying to assist. I don't think it's right. When we are in this city about to hire over 100 personnel to teach and train some kids at George P. Hendricks Elementary School. 20-some personnel down on Linwood in Commissioner Lenora Baker, on the Lenora Baker section, and again 100-some personnel in Commissioner Williams area. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right for you all to sit and buy party lines Whereas the Republicans gonna go.
Excuse me, Reverend Thomas.
Certain
Reverend
personnel.
Thomas, your
Yes.
time has expired. I'll move to give you an additional 3 minutes.
So move.
Okay. I don't think it's right for us to look at LSU, and the reason why you at LSU to provide a service for LSU, and then the only reason why Southern University is going to get funding is because if this side say this or that side say that, it's wrong. It ought to be a time where you all as commissioners, and I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but you all as commissioners need to say, what is the good for the people? Y'all talk about economic development. I don't think there's not a single service out there is providing the number of personnel that we're trying to provide, fair opportunities, fair wages, that they can move out of some of our districts and move up in life. And I think that you all have looked at us and gave us $10,000, which is an atrocity, but you come back and give $750,000 to the universities where the legislative in Baton Rouge is responsible for it. It's far-reaching. They're not doing anything that we're not doing for ourselves. And I believe that if you all give us an opportunity, you can monitor us, you can dig deep in anything we have done, and you will find that we have been far above water, have been very transparent. You know, $250,000 is a large request. It's a small request in the grand scheme of things. And when someone is given $1 million or $750,000 compared to $250,000, that's going to impact some jobs in the city of Shreveport. I think that the commission should equally say, let's partner with this guy. If what I've done does not prove muster, I pay every dime of it back. Just like I'm willing to give you $10,000 back today. It doesn't matter. You know. Thank you.
I've got a couple people I believe have some questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lynch?
Let me ask, Attorney Frazier, they've gotten their cooperative endeavor agreement?
As far as I know, yes, ma'am.
What about the check?
Yes.
You have gotten it?
It's in my safe right now. I can get it back to you.
Okay, so you are bringing it back, are you saying?
If you all cannot look in our organization and amend it, yes.
Okay. Well, in anticipation of that, Mr. Thomas, I guess we need to formally move forward with that. Doing that budget amendment. So, thank you.
Ms. Bowman?
Yes. I kind of agree with Commissioner Lynch. And what's your name, sir, again?
Tim Thomas.
Tim Thomas. Oh, I saw what you did call me today.
Yes, I did.
A little honey goes a whole lot better than no, scratch that. I'm trying to, because I have tendency to come across sometimes in the wrong way, and I don't intentionally mean that. So I'm in a way trying to control how I say what I say to you. But when you came before the commission, or you requested whatever amount you did, what was your original amount you requested?
$250,000.
And you got 10.
I got 10.
But you went through, did he go through the Civic Appropriations Committee or whatever, and not Economic Development Committee?
Mm-hmm.
See, those are two separate committees, and maybe you didn't understand that. But you've been, is Pastor Maiden your pastor?
No, he's not.
Okay, but you've been in the Word, and the saying that he that is faithful in little will be faithful in much. You've given that, and it's like buying your kids Christmas toys, and then they turn around and bring it back to you and tell you, I have one to do that to me, to tell me that wasn't what he wanted. And at that particular time, I thought I was doing a kindness to him, So putting it in that perspective and speaking to you, and this is me speaking, I'm not speaking for any other commissioner here, but this is the way that I take what you just said to us. Yeah, you didn't give me what I really want, so you can have this back unless you give me what I asked. But no, that's the way it sounds when you came here telling us that.
Okay.
And I don't think it's fair, number one, to even make the request and compare it to somebody else who just recently got something out of another committee, which was economic development. And yours apparently went through civic appropriations. But still, it seems to me that you were very ungrateful for even the little that was given to you. And, you know, I don't think that's right.
Okay. Well, let me just say to you, Commissioner Bowman, one, I spent 14 years, 11 months, 9 days defending this country. In the war zone, everything else. I'm a disabled veteran. I have learned to be very direct in my approach.
I have too, and I went in
Number two, I am grateful, and I've spoken to some other commissioners. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for what you have done. However, even though you have, this is the government. This is not coming out of my private pocket. If me as an individual have donated in excess of $1 million to an organization, and I'm asking you for some assistance, what I'm saying to you is, in order for us to do, and I shared it with Commissioner Thibodeau, in order for us to do what we're trying to do, it's a handicap. I'm going to give you the same reporting for $10,000 as I give you for $10 million. It's something flawed. It's something flawed with that system. And I'm saying to you that in the event that I spoke with Mr. Lynn, one of you all today, as it relates to, I was going to give it back, and they said, well, a Boys Club, a Boy Scout, somebody, either Mr. Smith or Mr. Lynn, it's the one I talked to, the Boy Scout may need it. Well, okay, I will bring it back to the Boy Scout. Can you? I'm grateful. Or I'm saying to you all, take a look, as I spoke with the president, let's take a look at it. Let's come and walk around and see what we're doing versus saying to us behind the gavel, bam, no, this is it. Or, bam, yes, we're going to do it. It ain't about personality. I'm far above the personality deal.
Look, personality doesn't mean anything to me either, but it was just the idea that you came here, and if you want something, that's not the way to go about asking for it. That's me giving you that advice.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe we've got everybody's point. We got another speaker, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for coming. I do recognize you're not asking for a handout, you're just asking for a hand up. And unfortunately, your frustrations have caught the ears of many in this room. And sometimes our approach is not what individual may seem may be the direct approach, but you came only the way you know how. You're frustrated. You're seeing millions of dollars being sitting here, hundreds of thousands been here, and you feel in your heart a legitimate program that would help our youth and create job opportunity in our community. But I do feel we need to probably reconsider your approach. Come back to the table again and come before this body and see how it can be a benefit and worthwhile initiative for Caddo Parish in terms of not only providing jobs but keeping our youth out of juvenile detention centers, keep them off the streets, providing an education in the state of Louisiana and Shreveport. And I think we believe in public-private partnership. We have proven, if you look at our NGO funding, we've done well. And I do feel that we shouldn't single out Southern University and LSU. They should be able to have the opportunity to stand on their own merits. And as we make intelligent, worthwhile decisions on projects, and we're not pitting them one against one another, but we all have one vote, one voice on something we feel would benefit our community. And like Ms. Bowman said, sometimes the approach need to be a little more, level in terms of how we approach. But moving right along, but you say you was a veteran. We try to do everything to provide opportunity for our men and women who have served in the armed forces. One of our commissioners is a leader on that effort. He's done a fine job in our community. And the First Lady just came here and spoke on trying to provide opportunity for our veterans and their families. So I feel you have a project that may be worthwhile, may be worth looking at again and reconsidering it. And do you know what this funding will be used for?
Yes, equipment and supplies to run the facility.
And if we were to reconsider your approach, would you come back before this body again and ask for any more money, or just one-time funding? The one-time request?
It's probably, as long as it's available, I'm going to be asking. If we see a need that you all can fit, yes, we're going to be asking again.
So have you asked the city for $250,000 or the parish, besides the
yes,
parish?
is currently, right now, being drawn up in my office. We went before the community development personnel, because we're not a part of that certain political arena, and I mentioned that at the meeting. We always seem to be a day late and a dollar short. I'm not for the Republican, I'm not for the Democrat, I'm not for the independent, I'm just for the people. And I think that every time you get up and you speak, they put you on one side. I'm not on nobody's side, I'm on side of right. And in the midst of that, we had to go back, rewrite, and represent with the city of Shreveport. And I think that once we come back from here, we will have some more leverage with the city of Shreveport that you got to partner with.
I just think the tone and the tone need to be a little more level for everybody. We all speak in one voice, Pastor. But then you're a veteran. You're trying to provide worthwhile initiative in our parish. And I asked you, would it be a one-time funding where we provide equipment for the school? Will you be coming back every year asking for $250,000?
Oh, no.
Would it be a one-time funding to get the school off the ground?
Yes.
To provide a wholesome place to keep our young people off the street? But we need to understand, Caddo Parish is not the only government body in Caddo that has resources.
Sure.
We all need to learn to partner up with the school board, the city of Shreveport, the private sector to help you accomplish your dream.
Correct.
And I do feel if given the right approach and the right audience, you could probably reconsider it and put it before what our Economic Development Committee explained to us how it would be a win-win for us in the city of Shreveport and Caddo Parish. So if I was you, if I was in your shoes, that's what I would do. I would tone it down a little bit, but I know you're frustrated when you see this coming, and sometimes our words ain't really who we are. I know you're a fine gentleman in our community, you work hard, you're a private businessman, and I know you to be a good standing, upright, taxpaying citizen, and I do understand your frustration, but I will hope that from this day forward, approaching us, you would tone it down a little bit. Thank you.
You tell somebody to tone down.
I'm trying to do better.
Well, Commissioner Bowman and Commissioner Williams both have said a lot of things that I want to say, but one of the things I was disappointed in, Pastor Thomas, is that you did not contact me before you came here today. Had you contacted me and let me know that you wanted to come and speak to the body, I would have directed you in the right direction, and especially directed you to one of the committees first before you come out to the complete body. And also give you some insight on some other resources that could possibly help you as well. Commissioner Williams said a lot of what I was going to say, and one of those things is collaborating with other governmental as well as community organizations here to get your project out the road. I know you've talked to me, I think, last year about your project and what you were wanting to do, but I think one of the things that can help you a lot is if you would just kind of listen to one of us and kind of let us help you and get you directed in a way where you can actually get some support from some other resources as well here in the city as well as the parish. So I won't talk about the other part about the tone of their voice and everything, because I think everybody has said enough of that part. But I just want to let you know that if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind sitting down with you and kind of giving you some insight on some other resources as well, and also giving you the correct direction to take as far as coming to the commission board.
Well, if I may rebut, I ain't come here to get you all know backslashing and all this kind of stuff, nor am I coming and let you all try to chastise me on tone. No, I'm not going to do that. I simply came up to give you my side now. Kind of tone deaf, so I automatically speak loud. I got a documented hearing loss with the military, so you got to forgive me on that. Now, again, I'm sorry if you was offended on my approach. I took public speaking at LSUS,
I understand. Still with the Southern.
Amen. But again, I mean, I am frustrated. I am wearied. I'm wounded. And Commissioner Baker, I called you at 10:48 this morning. You were the first person I called, and I called you 2 times and did not get a ring back, nor did I get.
That was my home number you called, Father.
Right, and I came up to the commission. I think you called me twice, and I tried to call you back. And the last time you was in a meeting, we just hung up.
That's why I said I was in the meeting.
Exactly.
What I said was, had you contacted me before today,
Yes, I understand.
before today,
I understand.
I would have,
understand.
taken time out to meet with you like I did before and give you some help and directions. So, I mean, that was my only thing. As far as anything else, that was the only thing that I was concerned with, the fact that
I can appreciate that.
asked me for any help.
I can appreciate that.
Our last speaker, Mr. Escudé.
First of all, I want to thank you for your service. I do have a message from you, but as most of these people, I hadn't got back to you. I work, and got to eat. And I appreciate your service to our country. I think most of this, I've worked with most of these people up here for quite a while, and most people are very open, exploring things, especially that benefit and help this community. Did you make a formal presentation prior to this past year's budget to the NGO committee?
No,
Did you address the body at the public hearing?
no, I contacted my commissioner.
Okay, well, the other entities you're talking about, everything from Meals on Wheels to all this other stuff, they generally come every year and at public hearing, or at least to the committee meetings, and say, make their request and tell us why it's important and what they're doing with it. So, and I'm not finding fault, but okay, you missed that step. We have a list this long of requests every year, and we've got about this much money going around. And anything new certainly needs to be presented and advocated so that we're aware of what you're asking for. And no idea other than what I read. So, and I'm not saying we have to pick and choose. We can't fund everything. So we take a priority thing. And Council on Aging is one of them. I mean, they're running out of money. We don't like it. We're giving them $50,000 because there's 300 older people in all of this city and parishes that are not eating. And that's terrible. So, never really got to see a good overview or see a presentation or have you let the body know, make your case about what you were up to and what you were wanting to do and why you wanted to partner with us. So that's let's just say a minor misstep when everybody else is advocating their position. The squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of thing. Well, I never knew you were out there because you're in a list of whole new things, and once we get down there, to the new things, there's very little money left. And secondly, the only thing I'll tell you is, I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you. You may have that experience in other political bodies here, but everything with this body is not a Republican Democrat issue. It's not a race issue. If you look at most of our votes, we're pretty much together, and it's project specific. It doesn't matter where it's going, and I'll be willing to take a look at your project. But at the same token, you can't compare it to the Southern's needs right now or LSU needs. They're two different things. And the state's trying to kill our local universities up here. And that's the bottom line. I just got off the phone before this meeting with one of our state legislators who called me. They're trying to kill LSU, and they're trying to just neuter Southern because they want all the money in Baton Rouge because they're running out of money. And that's just a fact we have to face. So we're going to stand there and just let it happen, Are we going to try to do and identify some things maybe at Southern and LSU that we think are of value, that create opportunity that nobody else is for our citizens here so that they can get their education here and learn a skill and trade in which we can stay here? We have to, because nobody's going to do it for us. So you can't compare it. Their project's good. I'm sure yours is good. But let's not judge others' projects, on their merits or try to take away from them, to promote ours. There's a lot of good stuff out there. So
we can't compare, Commissioner Escudé. Quantitatively, you can compare it. The universities are funded by the state government. It's far-reaching for the commission to even be in the collegiate level. It's far-reaching. It's far-reaching. And all I'm saying...
Well, you seem to know more about what's appropriate or not than we do. I'm just going to tell you, and I disagree with you.
Yeah.
We have to be far-reaching right now. This state, this whole country is a financial crisis. So, what do you want to lose Southern University? You want to lose LSU?
Oh, of course.
How do you want to pick and choose? So I'm not saying we can't work with you, but to say we shouldn't work with them or that's out of our peripheral, I don't agree with that, because these are extraordinary times.
I agree. And I'm not saying that not to work with LSU, not to work with Southern University, but I'm saying how you're going to work with them extensively on $500,000, $250,000, and then a request for $250,000 was appropriated with $10,000. It's a slap in the face. So
It's not a slap in the face. Maybe I'm just, and this is all I'm saying. Had you come here, had thought it important enough at budget time, at our meetings, at public hearing, to come and make your case and let us know what was going on, you might have got a little more consideration. It was a simple piece of paper and a request, and quite honestly, with no face, with no passion, with no
I disagree with that,
advocate.
because I spoke with 6 of these commissioners up here about that project. 6 of them.
It takes more than 6 votes to get things appropriated.
I understand. That's the 6 that I was able to get in contact with. I spoke to them in reference to it. Then, when it went toward the Budget Appropriation Committee, it was supposed to be voted upon, but it was not, apparently. And then one of you all, which I'm not knowing who it was, said to us, well, let's give him $10,000. And that's how we got the $10,000. So I'm grateful that there was a massive commitment on an individual part to at least say to you all, give them $10,000. But I'm saying to you, now let's look at the grand scheme of things. You're going to give somebody $10,000 who put 100 and some jobs into this community, and then you're going to turn around, give $500,000 to some university on one side of the street. The other side of the street, you're going to give them $250,000 to create programs. Come on now, what's more important? Training someone or educating someone? Both of them the same. And all I'm saying to the commission, let's look at everything in totality. Let's look at it with a blind eye. Economic development on one side, economic development on the other side. I'm not saying not to help LSU and not to help Southern, but I am saying, let's look at my program. If my program ain't worthy to be amended, don't amend it. Don't amend it. I give you $10,000 back. I'll never come before you again.
I'm not saying we won't do that, but we certainly want to enter this and have a cooperative agreement with you, not a hostile adversarial agreement. And at this point, we seem amenable, and quite frankly, you don't. You want to be hostile with us, and I don't know how to get past
Okay, we about talked this thing to death.
With the LSU, man.
One last speaker, please.
I'm going to Vince Marcel.
Ms. Lynch?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Thomas, but I don't have anything directed to him
Okay.
in particular, but I just want to, caution the commission. We had, at least on the NGO side, I think 50 or 60, between 50 and 60 applications. There were very few people that got what they asked for, regardless of the amount. And if we open that Pandora's box, we're going to be doing that process all over again for every single entity. Because even the ones that got funding, the fact that they got funding, we found some merit to what they were doing. And if we're going to start making adjustments, we're going to have to do it for everybody that makes that request. So I just, caution us. We're about to go into another budget year in a few months. We're looking at our form, making some adjustments to that. We have plenty to do with we're talking about long-range planning today. We have plenty to do between now in the end of the year. I think the committee and this commission went through those requests appropriately. We've had some emergencies this year, such as Caddo Council on Aging. The other two projects have been something that we've been talking about in excess of a year, so it's not something that's last minute or that's just come up. So I just caution us, we can always look at anything at any time we want to. I appreciate that fact, but I would just be extend my caution about doing that at this time. Thank you.
Pastor, if you want to pursue this, I would suggest that you speak with Mr. Lynn, who's chairman of the NGO committee, or Ms. Baker, who's chairman of the Economic Development Committee, because nothing's going to happen without those committees being involved, one of the two being involved.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
No, you said it.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Guidry had to go out of town, and we've been asked to allow him to come on Thursday and speak. There's no objection there. Second. Okay, cast your vote, please. Okay, that's unanimous. Mr. Driver's report.
Yes, sir. President Thibodeau and Commissioners, good afternoon. We have two guests today with us from the State Department of Economic Development, Mr. John Matthew and Ms. Jennifer Gibson. They're here to kind of give us a little snapshot of what's going on at the state level to help small businesses out in our community. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Matthew to come forward and kind of give us a little brief synopsis of what's going on with the small business development throughout the state.
Thank you. John Matthews, Executive Director of Small Business Services for Louisiana Economic Development. First of all, let me say that I appreciate this opportunity to speak to this body, to spend a few moments to talk about some of the programs that we have at the state level to assist your constituents with entrepreneurial development. Before you, please be advised that we provided a packet of information related to various programs that we have at the state level. One of the reasons, and the primary reason that I'm here today, is to ask this body to help us get this information to your constituents. We have a number of programs. We have a number of your small business owners that could certainly take advantage of capacity building. We have a number of your constituents that could certainly take advantage of our export initiative, the new initiative that we have. We have a number of your constituents that can take advantage of our small business credit initiative, the Hudson initiative, on and on and on and on. And I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned that as an individual that is responsible for the entire state, that I see significant, what I call demand, and I see significant interest in our other municipalities, and we're not feeling that we're getting the information down to your small business owners in order for them to build the capacity that they need to grow and maintain their businesses. So I've had some discussions with Administrator Wilson, and we came back. We came back today, and we're going to come back again. And we think that we want some awareness, and that awareness is about the fact that your business owners don't have to figure it out for themselves. There are programs. There's our Small and Emerging Business Development Program, which provides technical assistance, which helps individuals pay for a website design or help them with industry-specific training, where we may pay up to 50% of the cost. There are programs that will help your clients and your constituents with access to procurement at the state level. Your veterans, there are programs that will help with access to procurement in terms of your veterans. And I just want to emphasize that we think that we have a number of programs that, especially when you hear your folks talk about, I can't get access to capital. You hear your folks talk about, well, I need help, I want to export, and I don't know how to export. You hear your folks talk about all these different issues, and help is already there. It's not about creating anything. It's not about retooling anything. It's about getting the information to your folks. And I haven't been able to do a good job. So with that said, we are here today to ask you to help us with getting information to your small business community about these different resources that could mean the difference between self-sufficiency and self-employment and unemployment. And that is my few minutes that has been allotted to me to come before you, and I appreciate any discussion, any questions.
Do you have an office here in the state?
No, we do not. We have an office in, my office is in Baton Rouge, but I have an individual that's on my staff, Jenny Gibbons, who I've assigned to this region.
Okay, is there a phone number, address, and all that in this material?
Yes, well, there's a website, but certainly we will provide you with, first of all, my information, and that's, my phone number is 225-342-1181. Again, 225-342-1181. And my email address, jmatthews, JMATTHEWS, @la.gov. And Jenny, you could give your...
My number is 225-342-5663. Once again, it's 225-342-5663. And my email is jennifer.gibbons, GIBBONS, @la.gov.
All right. Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Chairman, and thank the administration for having this fine gentleman in our community, in our midst, to convey his messages about economic development, especially small business development. And we do know we live in a global economy. We compete with an international relationship as well. I'm interested in maybe learning more about your export-import initiative.
Great.
I think our products need to be over there, bring jobs, and I'm very interested in that, and also to try to, have you worked with the Minority Chamber of Commerce at all?
Yes, we have. We have worked with them on a microenterprise program that we had for individuals with low to moderate income through the, it was a TANF grant that funds that we received through the Department of Social Services, and that funding was cut, so we discontinued that program. We are working currently with the LSU Small Business Development Center, the Southern Small Business Development Centers. I think, though, that even with that traction, we see, and let me say that true economic development is about wealth. And the only way, and you're absolutely correct, the only way to gain true wealth is to export goods and services and to import wealth. You can't just move a dollar from one corner to another corner, create a job on this street corner and lose one on that street corner and think that you are creating wealth. True wealth, when we talk about net new jobs, when we're talking about true dollars, we have to talk about exporting something and importing something. So we have to teach, and I'm going to use the word teach. We have to teach entrepreneurs how to do that. And that's my job, to bring the resources, but I'm not the teacher. So that's the extent of my involvement with that body.
Yeah, the volume of economics is low when you get to the grassroots, to the main mom and pop everyday stores, because we know small business, there's the backbone of America. However, all the great resources and program and TA are not getting to them. A lot of them are clothing shop and having to sell out to our other minority friends. So I'm glad you're here, and hopefully we can partner up with them in some way, put on a forum, put on a forum in the neighborhood where people like mom and pop stores can get access to some more valuable information. So
And if you guys call, we'll call them.
I look forward to partnering up with you.
Thank you,
for
sir.
being here.
Best today.
Do you have any initial thoughts off the top of your head on how we can facilitate getting this information out?
Well, I think one thing, and again, this is related to what I see across the state, there has to be collaboration. I think that there has to be a movement someplace, somebody has to start the knocking down of the silos. And I'm going to be frank with you and candid. I think that there are a number of silos with these organizations around where they don't work together, where there isn't any real referral activity, because no one can do everything for everybody. So you got to have a way of identifying the core competencies of each of these organizations and help them to work together and help them to make sure that that entrepreneur is getting the right resource at the right time. And that is what I would suggest, that folks would start with identifying who are the true providers, who do they really service, what are their core competencies, then figure out how to make sure folks can gain access to that information, and lastly, make sure that these resource providers understand that they can't stand alone.
Okay, so maybe perhaps there was a link to your website on the parish's website. This information would be a start, partnering with both chambers of commerce here. We are in the process now, you talk about the silos, of standing up a joint economic development entity with the city and the parish together, because, combined we're stronger. Once that's stood up, they would need that information certainly, but the information's available, but, and I understand what you're saying, but how do you suggest we get word out to these would-be entrepreneurs that there is help beyond and above? Advertising,
Well, I think that advertising, first of all, there has to be what I call education in terms of, and again, I'll say this, I don't think that your resource providers know what each other do. So if you can't get folks to understand what the other guy is doing, then there's no way to get them to refer folks to the right entity. So the first thing ought to be getting all these folks in the room, the people that do this stuff with the small businesses, get them in a room and make sure that we understand and they understand what each other is about, because it's got to be about referral. Because once you start that, then hopefully when that small business owner, that person stumbles into the system, it doesn't matter where they stumble in, they're going to get the help, because the system would get them to the right place, as opposed to them having, it's almost like, what's behind door number 1, number 2, and number 3? Well, right now, they don't know. Neither do I. So I'm just trying to say to you that it's not rocket science, but what it is about having the will to make it happen, then getting the folks together and and facilitating the movement of information, because that's all it is. It's moving information, and we have to figure out how to do that. Unfortunately, I don't live here. I can help you, but I can't tell you exactly how to do it.
Mr. President, if I may, I can kind of ask. Because I met with Mr. Matthews and Jenny today as well, and what I did was, as listening to him and listening to his, what he was telling us and what we need, and I think all of us can attest to the fact that we've had constituents in our district come to us and say, help me start a business, or how do I start a business, or what are the resources out there for me? So what I'm looking at doing through the Economic Development Division is getting with Mr. Matthews and also getting in touch with all of our elected officials as well as the top leaders of the organizations here, i.e. Community Foundation, Southern Incubator, African American Chamber, as well as our regular Chamber of Commerce and others, and getting us all together and let us sit down and talk about how we can collaboratively come together and make this happen for our constituents and actually get the word out there to them and let them know what the resources are available to them. And I'm looking at possibly doing this through economic development, also possibly putting a piece in the collaborative economic development with the city of Shreveport as well. So to kind of get an answer to your question is that's what, and I'm looking for I'm actually looking for this body, the Caddo Parish Commission body, to actually be the forerunner in getting this word out there and getting us together. So, thank you, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Matthews or Ms. Gibbons, are you available tomorrow, 6 o'clock?
No, sir. We're here today. Tomorrow we're in Ruston, and then back to Baton Rouge with, unfortunately, a number of other commitments.
Okay. Basically, the reason I asked that is I have a town hall scheduled for tomorrow. It's been a good opportunity for you to get some information out to them.
I would certainly appreciate getting on that schedule at a later date. We'll come back. We'll make that trip, and we'll do what we need to do.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much for the information.
Thank you.
Wilson, anything else?
No, sir, that concludes my report for today, sir.
All right. Any communiques, committee reports? Mr. Cox?
Two things. I was informed by our attorney that they are working with the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Department attorney on the synthetic drugs that we had talked about the other day, along with the drug paraphernalia. So that is being worked on, and it was good news to hear today. I appreciate that. Second, on May 3rd, I've already talked to Todd about this. We've had the of having movies made here locally for a while now, and it's been our jumping board for employment. And we lost a great member who started movies here a long time ago, and we're talking back in the 60s and 70s. His name was Jim McCullough Sr. And at the request of myself and with the help of you guys, I'd like to do a special resolution on May 3rd to honor Mr. Jim McCullough Sr. At that time and have his son present, and just show him that, what he did in the 70s was far above and beyond what has been done now, because he started it. He was one of the pioneers of making movies here in Northwest Louisiana. So we will be honoring him on May 3rd in a resolution. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, as a reminder, town hall meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Southern University at the Jesse Stone building. And the attorney is also working on some stuff for our property standards that we talked about at our last meeting. So maybe in May we'll be able to roll something out after it comes through the committee.
Okay. Mrs. Lynch?
Yes, as you all know, last week our First Lady was in town, and it was a wonderful event. All of the good-looking commissioners were there, so this body was well represented. And there were about 200 people wearing stickers, Caddo Parish Commission stickers, so we were well represented. Secondly, you all got a bag of petameters. They're not pink because I picked pink. We ordered red, they sent pink. But in 2007, this was resolution number 27 of 2007, walking was designated as the official form of exercise of Caddo Parish. I believe Commissioner Baker was one of the sponsors of that, but that was just encouraging citizens of Caddo Parish to pursue a healthier lifestyle by becoming more physically active, and so that is in conjunction. I wanted to reiterate that for Parish Government Month, which is Healthy Counties, Healthy Families. And lastly, we will be having a Juvenile Justice Committee meeting on May the 3rd in 2 weeks at 2:30. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lynn?
On Thursday, April the 5th, we had our first NGO meeting of the year. At that meeting, we did support the $50,000 going to Meals on Wheels with the Caddo Council on Aging to provide food for the elderly that they had a shortcoming to absorb within their budget. At that meeting, we also discussed with them something legal that is not right, which is the predatory tax purchasing of a lot of the geriatrics within the community, where though they fall under homestead exemption, they do not file, they still have to pay their city taxes, and the city bill comes and pretty much it looks like what you receive your water bill in, and if you are like me, you get that slip of paper after it's an auto deposit into their account from your checking account, and you just throw it in the trash can. Well, a way to work with the citizens to let them know that they do have a $100, $200, $300 tax bill due, so that they do not fall into a defunct status with their taxes. If they don't pay their city taxes and it gets purchased by an agency, it automatically kicks them out of the homestead exemption status that they have, and then they have to pay parish tax as well. And so we're working with Mary Alice Roundtree. She is setting up a meeting hopefully this week, if any of the commissioners would like to attend it, to address this issue on how we can work with the elderly of this community that have paid taxes all their life and that just need a reminder in most cases that they do need to pay their city tax every year so that they don't fall into a default status. Also at the meeting, we covered fine-tuning the NGO application, and for all the commissioners that serve on the NGO committee, if you would, at your earliest convenience, if you could get any changes back to me, anything that you would like to add or subtract from that form, or any comments that you want to make, feel free to call me up or send me an email in regard to that so that we could, at our next meeting, could vote to approve a form. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Natural Resource Committee met this afternoon and considered a request from Chesapeake on some additional land they wanted to lease. You'll report Friday and give you vote for or against.
Bowman?
Yes, just a reminder to remind everyone about our propositions coming up this Saturday. And of course we'll bring it up again Thursday, but every opportunity we get to let the citizens know that these are renewals and not what Royal Alexander's saying, that they are new taxes. We need to make sure we get that word out to our citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Dominic?
The long-term range committee did meet today. Basically, it was decided we would be doing a survey, sending each of the commissioners a survey in the near future, asking what your top propositions or ideas for long-range planning for the commission will be. So I would ask when you do get that, it will probably be by email, that you try to get that back to me as quickly as possible. They'll also be going to Administrator Wilson and the directors also. So, thank y'all.
Mr. Cox?
Are we planning, like we did last time, the renewals came up, to have something in the paper?
Yes, sir.
And when can we expect
Wednesday,
that?
Thursday,
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, because that slush that was in the paper Sunday was way off base.
Any other business?
No, sir. And move to new business. Authorize introduction of ordinance number 5196 of 2012, amending the budget of estimated revenues
and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund in the amount of $125,000 for the Licensed Practical Nursing Program at Southern University Shreveport for the year 2012.
Move to Thursday.
Second.
Cast your vote, please. Passes 11-1.
Authorize the introduction of ordinance 5197 of 2012, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund in the amount of $125,000 for the aerospace program at Southern University.
So move Thursday.
Second. Cast your vote, please.
Could you please
I'm
state?
sorry, moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Williams.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cast your vote, please. 12-0.
Authorize the introduction of ordinance 5198 of 2012, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund in the amount of $20,000 for the Cedar Grove Community Development Corporation.
Move to Thursday.
Second. Moved by Mr. Baker, second by Mr. Williams. Cast your vote, please.
That was apples.
And that's Mr. Williams. Cast your vote, please.
I'm 7, I know
All
that.
right, that passes 11-1.
Authorize resolution number 19 of 2012, notice of intention to construct and improve a water line within the east right-of-way of a portion of Goldsberry Road being located in the portion of lots 7, 14, 16, 17, and 20 in Shadow Pines Estates, Unit 1, lots 1, 10, 11, and 12.
Moved Thursday. Second. Second by Mr. Lynn. Cast your vote, please. Ms. Lynch?
Yes. What is the total projected cost of this project? I like that shirt.
Thank you very much.
Swag, got your swag.
The cost is about $150,000.
Total?
Yes, ma'am. That's
How many
included everything.
property owners?
There are, I want to say there's 20, with 16 have already signed on. There's 4 that have not signed the petition.
Okay. So for each one, how much does that come to? About $5,000 or something?
Something like that, yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm not good at counting. Do you?
We don't, I mean, we haven't even started the process of we started the process of just trying to get the engineering done, but the construction cost, that's just a bare rough cost. It's actually a price per linear foot of the actual running of the property line. So if every lot was exactly the same, it would be divided out that way, but some lots are going to be more and some lots are going to be less.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming this came out of the committee, the terms, I guess the terms of repayment. Is that something that went through committee, or is that something you all worked out?
That is something
This came out from our ordinance that we passed a couple months ago, 3 months ago, whenever it was. How that we would pay 10% and
I
they would
remember
pay
that
90%.
part, all right, but
But each case was going to be on its own merit, and each case would be dependent, because in some cases, one of them that was doing it was paid it all up front. And on this one, we're going to, have it, I don't know, how do they want to have it spread out on this one? Are they paying all theirs up front?
No, sir, this is the one where we actually, when we take over, when we do it, in order to get a 10%, we will do all the work on it, and then we will, once we're over with, each property will be assigned their assessment, and they can pay for it at that time. They'll reimburse us at that time.
right, so I
And
know
we'll do
we
a
passed the
tax-
90/10, but I'm saying the repayment. Here it says full payment within 30 days, or they can elect to pay 20% down and pay over 4 years,
Correct.
or they could elect to pay 10% down in over 9 years.
Correct.
So the property owner gets to decide how long they want to pay us back?
Or the parish, yes. We have, of the 20 property owners, 16 of them already signed on, which I think they'll probably end up
Yeah,
paying
but
up
these are a bunch
front.
of rich people.
Say that.
So I'm just trying to see what we give it with a 9-year loan.
Right, they're just trying to, they've already done a lot of work on their own.
Okay.
They've already been to the city's approved them to tap into the water line that the city has. They're just trying to take the benefit of the 10%.
Okay.
and have us do the work. It's a lot easier for us to do the project management.
Absolutely.
Get the engineering done, have the contractor hired, have us inspect it, or turn it over to the city. They miss one step throughout there because they're not in the water line construction business. They miss something, the city won't take it. At least if we'll be there to make sure we catch everything.
Okay. So what I would like is, once we finish it, because how long is it going to take? What's the?
It could probably be done in about 2 months.
Okay.
But we have to get engineering done, then we have to get plans out for submittal. Anything over $150,000 has to be publicly bid. We expect it to come under that, so we'll get 3 quotes. Looking at disadvantaged businesses while we're doing that.
Do we know? Let me ask, because you're telling me more than what I really want to know. Let me ask you, on each one do we know how much property currently on these 16 people that have signed, or the 20? How much of their property per?
We do. We have it broke down in a spreadsheet, yes.
Okay.
And we've also communicated to them what the expected cost per property.
Can I get a copy of that, please?
Oh, sure. I can try to find it.
And the other is that I want to make sure that the terms, because I don't remember this part. I know we were talking about that, but I'm not sure if it was discussed at the committee level about the terms of repayment, these options here.
I don't know that either.
I think we had said we were going to look on the repayment terms on a case-by-case basis. Because some would require longer than others, some would require none.
I don't know if it's case by case, because here we're giving them the option, so it's not really, we're considering it case by case, but they're getting to elect when they want. So it's a little different from what I'm looking at today is a little different than what we were told.
Well, I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up getting most of these people going to pay up front. And because of all the, quote, rich property owners that pay those huge property taxes, if it wasn't for those people, we would be here with a candle in our hand, and we wouldn't have these computers. We would have those pencils, you used to have to rest on your shoulder back in first grade, and you'd have that yellow pad of paper that still had wood chunks in it, and that's what we were making our notes on. So, we need the rich property owners.
I have no problem with rich property owners.
We would like everybody to be a rich property owner.
Yeah, but
we're working on that.
I do want to, like I said, I just wanted to make sure how this done.
This is the same resolution or ordinance from last week. What happened was we missed the day due to the Friday. The advertising, make sure we had 15 full days. It was actually falling out on 14, so we have to bring it back. The public hearing will be on May 17th instead of the May 3rd from last week.
Okay.
So that's the reason why you see it again.
Okay. Let me get that information and
I'll email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
I think the President explained the questions I was going to ask. So, thank you. All right.
Best vote, please. Passes 12-0.
Authorize resolution number 20-2012 to authorize the Caddo Parish Administrator to request the Louisiana Department of Natural Resources Office of State Mineral Board to lease certain mineral interests owned by the Parish of Caddo.
Move to Thursday.
Second.
Yeah, we did.
Ms. Lynch, I believe I know what you're going to say. You were at the meeting, weren't you?
No, I wasn't at the
okay.
meeting, and I wanted to clarify, you said that there's going to be a recommendation from the committee when?
Thursday.
No, if you, point of order, we tabled that until the city, until we could see what the city was going to do, and then we were going to come back and take a look at it.
The city meets next week.
Yeah, they're going to
come after that.
Right.
Okay. Well, the question I had, because in the body of the resolution, it has a minimum bonus provision of $1,500. So I wasn't sure if that was from the committee or if that was from Commissioner Smith.
No, ma'am, that was from Chesapeake.
Okay. Currently, right now, our minimum bonus is $5,000. So unless there's a different recommendation from the committee, I don't know. I mean, you can put it on here at $1,500 as commissioner, I guess. but I just didn't know if that was from the committee, if that was from you.
Ms. Lynch, there is no recommendation at this point, because we're waiting on the city. And this had already been printed up before the meeting today. We had the meeting today at 2:30.
Okay, I got that part. So are we going with our current minimum on Haynesville Shell leases? Or are we going on and putting forth an ordinance with the amount that Chesapeake has requested? Is that what we're doing?
Chesapeake had asked the committee if they would lease for $1,500. The committee has not made a decision at this time.
I guess I would just feel a little better if this said 5,000, and if we wanted to change it to their request, we could amend it. I'm just not clear on why it has $1,500 on here if that hasn't been agreed.
It would probably be appropriate to pull that and not even have it moved, since we don't have a
Amend the motion.
okay.
Please.
Second, I second that motion.
Let's just pull that until we do have a final. But I understand what you're saying, Ms. Lynch, and that's true. Will we vote no? Any objections to pull number 6 until we have another chance to meet with the committee? Cast your vote, please. All right, passes 11-1 to pull it. You're right. All right.
Authorize Resolution 21 of 2012 endorsing the development of a dog park at Marie and Charles Hamels Memorial Park.
Move to Thursday.
Second.
Woo-hoo.
Bow wow.
Lynn, that doesn't oblige us to any funding at this point, does it?
It does not oblige us to any funding at all.
All right, thank you. Cast your vote, please. That was just for that. You get a motion by Mr. Lynn, second, man.
SCA?
I have a question on the resolution number 20. Mr. Smith, you made the motion to pull, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I second.
And I also hit the wrong
You
button.
hit the wrong button, so it was a yes vote.
Yeah, the motion and voting.
I know
Won't be the last, is it? Those old friend Ron Dean. My friend.
Okay, we have a consent agenda remaining, and
Move to adjourn.
meeting is adjourned.
Wow, you can go.